A year ago, floodwaters from the Big Sioux River swamped homes and businesses in Hawarden, Iowa. Some residents had to evacuate their homes on Saturday, June 22nd, 2024. Take a look at this boat. It's navigating floodwaters that are in the parking lot of the Center Point Church. Some businesses closed that day, not knowing if they would ever reopen. 1 year later, we're taking a look back at how the town has overcome the obstacles that Mother Nature put in its path. KTIV's Taylor Deckert sat down with community members to talk about the ways that they continue to look forward.
Let's see, I worked that day, came home and went sandbag from 12:30 till about 3:30, quarter to 4.
The waters weren't just coming from the river, but from the streets and sewers, causing an evacuation of homes.
There was about a third of the homes in town. We have about 600 homes in town, and there was almost 200 that were affected by the flood.
On the western end of Hawarden, those homes were most at risk, and the mayor says they got hit pretty hard.
12 to 15 homes that are not being occupied anymore. So those people have either moved on or they've found some other lodging.
1 year later, Mayor Gregg says 3 families remain in the mobile home trailers that were provided by FEMA, a number that started at 8, with families slowly moving out, with other residents moving back into their homes after renovations.
Feels like everything is brand new, everything remodeled.
The city is looking at a program to buy a property with the help of FEMA and the state from the homeowner at a true value before the flood. The city would then tear down the house and turn it into a green space.
So that's one way that can mitigate any flood damage in the future, if we can move some of those houses and have them live someplace else.
Also in the last year, new housing is coming to town in the form of apartments and townhouses.
It's really exciting to see construction in town. Probably haven't seen that much activity for many years.
The community has rallied around each other for the last year, and that support is not going to stop. Everyone continues to look forward to the future.
That everything comes to normal again and everything's going to be in the right place.
We're going to be better off in some ways than we were before, that we'll have more and better housing. You know, as bad as the flood was, it brought the community together to work to try to mitigate the flood damage and help those that needed help.
In Hawarden, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.
A church in Hawarden is preparing to celebrate 125 years of existence, but the church's pastor said this year was one of the church's hardest. Trinity Lutheran Church was flooded a year ago. Pastor Joshua Lowe described the scene as like something out of a movie. The basement was filled with floodwater and debris, things like ceiling panels, furniture, a piano, mud, even fish. The congregation of about 350 banded together in spite of the personal challenges that they faced following the flooding. For months, they attended service with another church in Ireton before they could go back to Hawarden. That was in August. But 1 year later, the space is as good as new in spite of the loss of material things like church records and photos.
We know that God is faithful. We know that God is carrying us through these things. We know that His Word and Spirit are with us, and we are going to be okay in the long run. But we also realize that we are material people, and those material things matter even when they're lost.
Now, one of the final projects that still remains is the replacement of the church's elevator. Overall, the damage done valued $816,000. The community support and donations brought in over $512,000, and it was that, along with help from FEMA, that was enough to remodel the entire downstairs and basement. Tonight on News 4 at 10, we'll hear about one resident's journey to get back into her flooded home.